Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranams to you. So,
1 minute, Prabhuji. I will just.
Okay, so Hare Krishna to all the devotees. So welcoming you, each one of you, for today's Srimad Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya session. So today we have His Grace Haridev Krishna Prabhu, who's there with us. So he is giving his association today. So wonderful. Thank you, Prabhu, for coming over. And he's going to share the nectar. So Prabhuji, over to you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. First, I would like to offer obeisances to all the Vaishnavas and seek their blessings before we begin the Bhagavatam class. And I'd like to thank temple management for giving an opportunity for me to read, hear, and share. We'll start with prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Ashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. So we'll be reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, chapter 9, shloka 9. Prabhuji, can I share the screen?
Yes, Prabhu, you can.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
Or you want me to? I can do that too. You are the co-host.
Okay, I will share, Prabhuji, not an issue. So I'll recite the shloka. Manyedana vijanaroopa tapa shrutaujas teja prabhava bala paurusha buddhi yogaha नाराधनाय हि भवन्ति परस्य पुंसो भक्त्या तुतोष भगवान् गजयूतपाय मन्येदनाभिजनरूपतपश्रुतौजस् तेज प्रभाव बलपौरुष बुद्धियोगा नाराधनाय हि भवन्ति परस्य पुंसो भक्त्या तुतोष भगवान् गजयूतपाय मन्येदनाभिजनरूपतपश्रुतौजस् तेज प्रभाव बलपौरुष बुद्धियोगा नाराधनाय हि भवन्ति परस्य पुंसो भक्त्या तुतोष भगवान् गजयूतपाय. Word-to-word meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Manye, I consider. Dana, riches. Abhijana, aristocratic family. Rupa, personal beauty. Tapa, austerity. Shruta, knowledge from studying the Vedas. Ojaha, sensory powers. Tejaha, bodily effulgence. Prabhava, influence. Bala, bodily strength. Paurusha, diligence. Buddhi, intelligence. Yogaha, mystic power. Na, not. Aradhanaya, for satisfying. He, indeed. Bhavanti, are. Parasya, of the transcendental. Pumsaha, this Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bhaktya, simply by devotional service. Tutosha, was satisfied. Bhagavan, Supreme Personality of Godhead. Gajayuta Paya, unto the King of Elephants, Gajendra. Translation. Prahlad Maharaj continued, one may possess wealth, an aristocratic family, beauty, austerity, education, sensory expertise, luster, influence, physical strength, diligence, intelligence, and mystic yogic power. But I think that even by all these qualifications, one cannot satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. However, one can satisfy the Lord simply by devotional service. Gajendra did this, and thus the Lord was satisfied with him. Purport. No kind of material qualification is the means for satisfying the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, only by devotional service can the Lord be known. Bhaktya mam abhijanati. Unless the Lord is pleased by the service of a devotee, the Lord does not reveal himself. Naham prakasha sarvasya yoga maya samavrita. This is the verdict of all Shastras. Neither by speculation nor by material qualification can one understand or approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Ananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauravatvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpataruvesya Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. I would like to again seek the blessings of all the assembled Vaishnavas so that I repeat whatever I've heard and try to share as per my humble understanding. So the good part is in this, for this shloka, Srila Prabhupada has given two lectures actually, one in 1976 and another in 1977, and both are actually in Mayapur. So beautiful lectures there. So the background of this is, we know that after the killing, after Hiranyakashipu was killed, everyone was very much afraid to see the fierce form of Narsimhadev. Brahma did not have the courage to go and pacify Narsimhadev. Even Lakshmi was asked, but Lakshmi also mentioned that although he's my husband, but this form I have never seen and I'm very afraid to go. Then finally, they all tell Prahalad, you should go. And 7.9.8 is where Prahalad actually begins offering his prayers. So previous shloka, we saw how Prahalad, out of humility, he starts saying, Brahmadaya Suragana, like that. When big suras like Brahma, etc., cannot glorify the Supreme Personality of God. I'm born in a low-born family, and how can I please or offer prayers like that? And naturally, Prahalad being blessed by Narsimha, Prabhupada writes in the beginning of this chapter, summary. So in that, Prabhupada writes that the Lord blessed him to offer these prayers. So the Paramatma naturally inspired Prahalad, very affectionate towards Prahalad, put his hand on Prahalad's head. And because of being personally touched by the Lord, Prahalad immediately achieved Brahma Jnana or spiritual knowledge, like that. So because the mercy of Lord was there, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also said to Sanatan Goswami and Rupa Goswami, that your humility is breaking my heart. Give up your humility now, like that. So why? Because the devotees, elevated devotees, are so humble, and so sometimes because of their natural humility, the Lord somehow gives them confidence. No, you are, although you feel like that, you are not like this, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also said to Sanatan Goswami, you are like my own son. Like when Sanatan Goswami was having all these blisters and in Jagannath Puri, so then Mahaprabhu embraces Sanatan Goswami. Sanatan Goswami feels even more sad. I'm so low. Why Mahaprabhu has touched? And Mahaprabhu says, just like a mother, sometimes the child may urinate on the mother or pass stool on the mother, but the mother doesn't feel bad. Same way, you are like my own child, Sanatan Goswami. So Lord always instills confidence in the heart of the devotee and faith that this service can be done, although you feel you are unqualified, but by Krishna's empowerment. So this is a paradox that a pure devotee, on one hand, feels completely hopeless due to his own qualification, but because of his staunch faith in Krishna, that Krishna can do anything, although he feels himself utterly useless, he still accomplishes great services for the mission of Lord. So here also, Prahlad is being inspired by Paramatma, saying that yes, although I have many, many disqualifications, but Lord, you are so kind. You do not see these material things so importantly. So in this shloka, Prahlad is speaking how the Lord is so merciful that he does not consider riches, aristocracy, personal beauty, austerity, or even great knowledge, sensory powers, bodily effulgence, influence, bodily strength, or the intelligence or diligence, or the mystic power. None of these are the qualifications for worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Prahlad is also giving the example of it is only by bhakti that you are satisfied, just like how you are satisfied with Gajendra, the king of elephants, like that. So this is a very, very hope-giving verse for all of us, because in the outside world, if we want to serve somebody, there are so many qualifications. Like if you want to apply for a job at Microsoft or Google or something, we need certain qualifications. Then we get, although we get an opportunity to serve or contribute. But Krishna, he does not see any of these things. He's simply satisfied with bhakti. So, in fact, in one lecture, I was hearing from Radhanath Maharaj also that in Vrindavan, none of the pure devotees exhibited any mystic siddhi. The only people who exhibited mystic siddhi in Vrindavan were all the demons like Bakasur, Dhenukasur, etc. That means in a spiritual world, one does not need to demonstrate anything. As we know the saying, in physics also we have, like poles repel each other. Krishna is all great. Krishna is all beautiful. Krishna is called Bhagavan because he possesses the six opulences in full. So naturally, if we think or we become proud because we have any of these things in minute quantity, naturally, whether Krishna will accept all of us, but we have a repulsion to Krishna. Why? Because we want to be the center of attraction. Oh, I have so much wealth. I can give shelter to so many. I can protect so many. I can conquer so many things. I am so learned, like that. So naturally, when we have these, or even if we have, but if we have and we are proud of what we have, then naturally it becomes very tough for us to feelingly call out the names of Lord, as Kunti Maharani also says in her verse that Janma Ishwarya Shruta Shribir Edamana Madapuman Naivar Harti Abidatum Vai Tvam Akinchana Gochara. And one cannot feelingly call out when we feel all these can give me shelter. And Prabhupada in both the lectures is very beautifully giving examples. In one of the lecture, Prabhupada is starting off with this Bhaktyamam Abhijanati. Only by bhakti one can understand Krishna. And then what is the definition of bhakti? Bhakti, the definition, we all know that two important shlokas where it is spoken about what bhakti is. Anya bilashita shunyam jnana karmadi anavritam anukulena krishnanushilanam bhaktir uttamam. So topmost bhakti means it is free from karma, jnana or yoga. That means while practicing bhakti, we are not thinking what is the fruitive gain that one may get. Like initially, when we come to Krishna consciousness, we may have a lot of material things also. I remember when we were introduced to Krishna consciousness during our college days, our seniors would say, if you attend these sessions, you can speak eloquently, you lose public fear of public speaking, then you will also be in touch with some IITians, etc. So that was our motivation. So, but eventually, as we practice, one should not try to extract something for one's personal gain from the association of devotees, rather try to serve the devotee community that way. So that is free from karma. So this is demonstrated by all the acharyas also, that we know that pastime at Nandagaon, when Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami at Ther Kadamba, I think, in Nandagaon, where they were once discussing, and it was the birthday of Sanatan Goswami, and then Rupa Goswami wanted to cook some sweet rice. All of a sudden, some young girl from Nandagaon comes and prepares sweet rice, and both of them honor the sweet rice, and then they're in ecstasy. And then suddenly Sanatan Goswami asks, who prepared this? And then Rupa Goswami says, an young girl. And then from Nandagaon she came and gave all these items, and immediately they realize it is none other than Srimati Radharani. So on one hand, they were repenting. Alas, it is our nature to serve, it is our duty to serve the Lord, but we are extracting service from the Lord. But on the other hand, the sweet rice was so tasty, they could not resist eating also, like that. So our acharyas have always demonstrated that we should always be in a mood to never extract something from the Lord, rather serve the Lord. So Prabhupada also mentions that is the transcendental competition between the Lord and his devotee. The Lord is thinking, my devotee has given up everything for me. His life is dedicated towards me. I'm hoping he will ask for something so that I can fulfill his benediction. And the devotee is thinking, Lord is so kind. I should serve him more and more. I cannot ask anything from him. So the devotee is trying to somehow serve the Lord. Lord is trying to somehow serve the devotee. Lord is eagerly waiting. Will my devotee have some desire? And I immediately want to fulfill it, like that. So that is a transcendental nature. So one is free from karma, and one is also free from tendencies of jnana. Gyan means accumulating knowledge and becoming puffed up with that knowledge, and trying to just go on speculating without any practical application. Prabhupada made that famous statement, religion without philosophy is sentimentalism or fanaticism. That means religion means we practice some rituals or some activities, but without any philosophy. Why we do not know it. So that is simply sentimentalism. Or sometimes it can also be fanaticism. Why? Because we just do it because we are told. Like we see sometimes uninformed Islams in the form of jihad. They feel that we are doing something holy. Why? Because there is no philosophical understanding. Same in every religion, not just in Islam. In all religions, there is enough fanatical practices going on. So religion without philosophy is fanaticism or sentimentalism. And philosophy without religion is mere armchair speculation. What does that mean? Philosophy, one goes on reading books after books, one quotes shloka after shloka, one does a lot of grammatical study, he's become expert in pronunciation, everything, philosophy, but without religion. Religion means without any practical implementation of that. That is mere mental speculation or armchair speculation, waste of time, like that. So once a press reporter also came to Srila Prabhupada and he asked Srila Prabhupada, what do you think about Buddhism? Then after some time, Prabhupada did not answer. Immediately he asked, what do you think about Jainism? What do you think about Zoroastrianism? Like that. Immediately Prabhupada asked, you tell me, what do you follow? He said, I follow none. At least follow one thing, then you talk about other things. Now you are not even following anything, like that. So that is the problem with Gyan. One goes on accumulating, but is not implementing anything that way. Again, why? Karma, one may practice bhakti with tendencies of karma. Why? When one is interested in sense gratification, so I will meet devotees and try to get some benefits for my own job, for my own project. If that is the main motive of associating with devotees, that is karma tendency. And Gyan means that one feels, okay, I'm no longer interested in sense gratification, but subtle sense gratification I'm interested in. Everyone should know how scholarly I am. Everyone should know how knowledgeable I am. Everyone should be mesmerized by my talks, like that. So that is Gyan. And then yogic tendencies. Yogic tendencies is to develop some siddhi. And in bhakti, what are the pitfalls? In bhakti also, in the Madhurya Kadambini, we have one stage in Anartha Nivriti. It is called Taranga Rangini. Naturally, when one performs bhakti, he will develop some skills. Somebody may develop the siddhi or skill of speaking eloquently. Some may develop the skill of singing very nicely. Some may develop the skill of decorating the deities nicely. But when one gets carried away by these endowments, so Bhakti Rasamrit Maharaj once said that the Lord gives some endowments to the devotees. That means as we become more eager to serve Krishna, Krishna will make sure that whatever material deficiencies we have, he may remove it for the sake of service if he so desires, and if he sees that we may go on the right track, like that. But still, at every moment we have an opportunity whether to take those gifts of Krishna and use for service of Krishna or for one's own self-aggrandizement. So the moment we use it for our own thing, then Bhakti Rasamrit Maharaj said that thing will be removed again, like that. Prabhupada also said that famous story, Punar Mushika Bhava. So again one will become a mouse, like that. So the Lord may give these things, but we should be very careful of these pitfalls in bhakti, because the Chaitanya Charitamrita also says that what is that? Sakala Ashant, it comes that way. Bhukti Mukti Siddhi Kami Sakala He Ashant Atayeva Krishna Bhakta Sada Nishkam Atayeva Shant. That means one who's desirous of bhukti, material enjoyment, mukti, bhukti Mukti Siddhi, he's always Ashant. Why Ashant? Bhukti, why one will be Ashant? Because how much ever we accumulate, our two things will happen. How much can we enjoy? How long can we enjoy? Even if there is lot of thing, I don't have the capacity to enjoy so much. And even if I say, okay, today I cannot enjoy, I have 100 gulab jamuns with me. I know I cannot eat 100 gulab jamuns together. I will eat, but good, I have 100. So I will keep one gulab jamun today, next gulab jamun another day, or I have so much bank balance. Today today so much I'll enjoy, tomorrow so much I'll enjoy. But how long can we enjoy? Even if the object is there, death will take us out. So in that way, bhukti person is always unsatisfied. Mukti, why he is also unsatisfied? As that famous shloka goes, Aruhya krichena param padam tat gato gachanti, like that. Why? Although he gets mukti, but if he doesn't have transcendental affection and respect for the lotus feet of Lord and his service, after getting mukti, he doesn't know what to do. He's spaced out. So he also becomes ashant. Again, he comes to this material world to engage in some philanthropic activity, etc. So that way. Same way, whenever I hear this shloka, I keep telling myself also that sometimes we may think, once I complete my responsibilities and retire, then I can do bhakti nicely. But if we have not developed enough taste at that time, even with all free time, we will become spaced out. Again, we will take up to some material occupation. Why? Because we are not able to have that joy in hearing about Krishna, serving Krishna. So for all our grihasthas, it is an important thing that we develop so much love, affection for Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, that when we go to that stage of, okay, no more material responsibilities, we don't become spaced out like the Mukti Siddhis. That then again we take up some other part-time job, some other consultancy, like that. So that way. So that is something that we can always think. Bhukti, Mukti. And Siddhi, Siddhi Kami. Why Siddhi Kami is Sakala Ashant? Why? Because Hiranyakashipu was a classic example also. How much ever we try to control people, even if one small insignificant person we are not able to control, we become fully frustrated. And we see example of Vishwamitra also. He became a Siddha Purusha. Then he created the planet for Trishanku, and so much anxiety he went through, because we may be minute controllers, but Krishna is ultimate controller. So that way, all these people are not so that anukulena Krishna anushilanam. So we have to perform bhakti in a favorable manner towards Krishna, and that is called bhakti. And another definition is sarvopadi vinirmukta tatparatena nirmalam rishikesha sevanam bhakti ruttamam. So another definition of bhakti is that give up all our material designation. When we come to serve devotees, we should not have our material baggage saying, I'm such and such aristocratic family person. I'm so many years into Krishna consciousness, like that. One should give up all these designations, which is material, and only try to please the senses of the Supreme Lord. That is bhakti. We hear the example of Mafatlal Prabhu in Chowpati. Once it happened that this Mafatlal Prabhu was holding hands with his driver. Mafatlal Prabhu was a big millionaire, and in Sunday feast, every Sunday they make it a point that he holds hands with his driver and does dancing kirtan. Why? Because we have a strong tendency to become puffed up with all these material things. So forcefully we have to do some practices to give up these tendencies, like that. So so that is the definition of bhakti. And is it difficult to please Krishna? Actually, Krishna does not need anything. He is Atmaram. But still, although he is Rasaraj, he is the king of all rasas. He doesn't seek any pleasure from anybody, but still he's hankering for love. Just like a father or a mother, on the birthday of the father or mother, the child may take some 100 rupees from the father and go to the shop, purchase some gift worth 50 rupees, Another 50 rupees the child may use for some ice cream or chocolate or whatever. And then it will come and the child will come and give this birthday gift to the father. The father is very, very pleased. The father is never going to say, show me the bill. How much was the cost? I gave you 100 rupees. What did you do with the remaining 50 rupees? Like that. Because the father doesn't need anything. He has enough bank balance in his thing. He can buy more costly things. But the father is pleased with that loving exchange. In the same way, Lord is Atmaram. He doesn't need any of these. Is Lord fascinated by others' beauty? Prabhupada is asking in that lecture. Answer is no. Why? Because one may say, no, Lord was fascinated by the beauty. That is why he married 16,000 queens. No, we all know that pastime. It was because they were kidnapped by Bhaumasura. They requested, nobody else will accept. Krishna accepted them. And how one can understand Lord is not fascinated? Prabhupada mentions that famous statement. Confectioner, a sweet confectioner, is not attracted by sweets. Same way, the Lord is ocean of all good qualities, all happiness. So he doesn't seek for happiness anywhere outside. And the classic example is the Naranarayan Rishi pastime, where when they were doing tapasya at Badrikashram, Indra became insecure. He sent Kamadev and Rati, and then lot of apsaras. But the Lord just out of pity and compassion for Indra, he said, why should I be attracted to all beauties? Everything emanates from me. And from his thighs, the Lord generated another beautiful apsara, Urvashi. And he told, please give this to Indra, like that. So Lord is not attracted by any of these. These are not the qualifications. And instead, Lord is just looking for bhakti. And it is so easy to please the Lord. Patram pushpam phalam toyam eyome bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti upahridam ashnami prayatatma. Simple leaf, flower, water. Even in Krishna book, we hear that pastime of how there was King Shrutadev and King Bahulashva and Shrutadev. Shrutadev was a poor Brahmana, and Bahulashva was a king. And both of them, Krishna expanded into two forms with Narada Muni and all other sages. All the sages expanded. Both of them went to both places. And Lord was equally satisfied by both of them. Why? Because Lord is not after any of these things like that. So that is also there. And then the last thing that we can remember is, although I mean, Krishna is very easy to be pleased because Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. He doesn't expect many things. And some other reasons why one should accept Krishna as the master and serve him. One reason we can say is, I think these reasons are mentioned by Uddhava also. Some of the reasons mentioned are, first is, in this world, we are searching for a master to serve, because the tendency of the jiva is to serve. But every master has faults. There is only one master who is faultless, and that is Krishna. So we should take great pride in being servant of Krishna. We are so proud if we are associated with Microsoft, if we are associated with Google. The CEO of Google, Microsoft, is not a faultless person. But when we are associated with a great company, we feel proud. Why not feel pride in serving a person who is completely faultless, who is Krishna, like that? And the other reason why we should delight in serving Krishna is because in this world, everyone remembers the faults and forgets the good qualities or good deeds done by a person. But in the Vishnu Sahasranam also we see this famous verse, Animisho Nimishasvagni Vachas Patirura Radi, like that it comes. So there the Acharyas say, Krishna is Animish. Animish means one who never blinks his eyes. And the next line, they're saying Krishna is Nimish. Nimish means one who's always blinking his eyes. What is this contradiction? Just now we said Lord does not blink his eyes. Now we are saying Lord is blinking his eyes. Which is correct? The Acharyas say both are correct. Why? How both can be correct? Whenever a non-devotee or a devotee, doesn't matter who he is, he accidentally performs any service, bhakti, then the Lord, with an unblinking eyes, opening his eyes wide, he takes notice of the service of the devotee. That is why he is called Animish. And then why is he called Nimish, one who blinks his eyes? Because sometimes either a devotee or a person who's just getting introduced, because of the devotee's previous conditioning, he may unintentionally or unwillingly do some wrong activity and repent a lot. Oh, I should not have done for this wrong activity. I will try to not do it again, like that. At that time, the whole world will make a mockery of that devotee. That whole world will say, hey, this devotee, he's a pretending devotee. He's a false devotee, like that. But at that time, what Krishna does? Krishna starts blinking his eyes. He says, oh, some dust has gone into my eyes. I'm unable to see anything happening, like that. And then when the devotee is reinstated in the natural right position, then Krishna opens his eyes and he asks, what is this? You are making a big issue, but I see everything is proper. My devotee is nicely practicing. Why did you say he is a pretentious devotee? Like that. So Krishna is so kind. As spoken in the Bhagavad Gita also, apichet suduracharo bhajate maam ananya bhak sadurevasya mantavya samyak vyavasthito hi saha. Even if one is suduracharo, durachari means a wrong person, wrong activity doing person. Sudurachari means expertly doing wrong activities. If a person is expertly doing wrong activities, but he's constantly repenting and he's praying to Krishna within, I want to be reinstated in the right position, he is considered by me as a sadhu. And why? Because Krishna tells in the next shloka, because I empower that person, Kshipram bhavati dharmatma, shashvat shantim nigachati. I empower him and I quickly situate him in his constitutional dharma, Jivera Swarupoi, Krishnera Nityadas. And he gets lot of peace, Shashvat Shantim. He's not disturbed by his material desires. I make sure they go away very soon, like that. So this is another reason why, because Krishna, sometimes for our engineering or technical people, if we make a 2x2 matrix, on one we put activity, one we put intent. So we may have good intention, but we may do a wrong activity. We may have bad intention, we may do a good activity. Generally in this world, if we have good intention, but activity is wrong, people will not appreciate it. Or if we have bad intention and somehow it happens as a good activity, there also people are very smart. They will say, somehow it happened, but I know what your intentions are, like that. But Krishna, he gives the benefit of doubt to us in both these cases. Like in Putana's case, the intention was bad, but the activity was good. And Krishna took only the activity. He's called Saragrahi. So Krishna took only the activity. And in case of Jatayu, his intention was good, but his activity was unsuccessful. That time Krishna took only the intention. So out of the 2x2 matrix, in this world, if we want to please somebody, our activity should be good, our intention should be good. Only one possibility. But to please Krishna, all these other three. And more easy than pleasing Krishna is pleasing the devotee. Even if our intentions are bad, activity is bad, still they will take compassion and somehow try to engage us in the right service, like that. So like Mrigari had bad intentions of delighting in animals' suffering, and his activity also was killing animals. But Narada was so compassionate that he went there, he enlightened him, he gave him a practical this one. So devotees are more compassionate, more easy to please. There is no disqualification. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada writes in Nectar of Instruction, no material impediment can ever check the process of bhakti. So bhakti cannot be checked by anything, any material disqualification or qualification, because these are not prerequisite. It is only sincerity and wanting to please the Lord, like that. And once Radheshyam Prabhu was mentioning, pleasing the Lord may be a far-fetched thing for us, because we have not seen the Lord personally. We have heard his glories, but we have not seen the Lord. But pleasing pure devotees is more easy. Why? Because we have seen how the pure devotees act. We are able to see them live, and seeing their wonderful dealings, etc. If somehow our lives can be centered around pleasing a very elevated, pure devotee of Lord, then our advancement will be so rapid in Krishna consciousness. So that class, Radheshyam Prabhu was asking all devotees, tell me what can be the best way to advance in Krishna consciousness, or why have you come to Krishna consciousness? Some said love and care of devotees, philosophy, etc. But then Prabhuji was mentioning the best way to make rapid progress is if our hearts are fully touched by the qualities of a pure devotee, and moment after moment we are thinking how to please him, how to make him happy, how to serve him, because we have seen so many good qualities in that person. Then our progress will be rapid also. And in that lecture, Prabhupada was also saying that one may ask, if I have so much material disqualification, isn't my progress going to be slow? Because the modes of nature, my conditionings, they will all pull me back to material things again. Yes, more the baggage we carry, it is going to be difficult. But Prabhupada again gives us the hope that like that famous video lecture in Melbourne also, I think, or Sydney, one of the place in Australia, where even Bhakti Vikas Maharaj is sitting in that video lecture. So Prabhupada is saying, how much does it take to surrender? And Prabhupada says, one moment. That means completely surrender. So in the lecture, Prabhupada is mentioning two shlokas. One is Sarvadharman Parityajya. So moment we completely surrender, then Krishna takes care of all the baggage. And what is surrender? Surrender means, we have heard the 6 symptoms of surrender. What Anukulyasya Sankalpa, Pratikulyasya Varjanam, Rakshasi iti Vishwaso, Gopatripte Varnam Tata, Atmanikshepam, Karpanyam. So all this 6 symptoms of surrender. Moment we surrender, Krishna takes charge. And then one other shloka which Prabhupada is mentioning in that lecture is Mam Chayo Avyabhicharinena Bhakti Yogena Sevate Sagunan Samatitiyaitan Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate. So how to quickly rise above the modes and practice bhakti without any being pulled. Prabhupada is saying the way is Mam Chayo Avyabhicharinena Bhakti. A bhakti which is unadulterated. That means I keep telling this to myself in this day and age, especially for grahasthas. So much we deal with material things, and we are in contact with matter, in contact with news, with worldly affairs, etc. So the opportunity to practice Avyabhicharini Bhakti. Avyabhicharini means 100% unadulterated. Only Krishna, 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 whole day. Nothing. No thoughts of job, no thoughts of bank balance, no thoughts of stock market or politics or sports or cinema, whatever. Only bhakti, bhakti, bhakti. When we do that, very quickly we go to the Brahman platform. So at least for grahasthas, the hope-giving thing is our temples regularly conduct yatras. There are regular association of great Mahan saints. When they come, some 2-3 day workshop. So such times, just like how Lord Shiva was eager to come all the way from Kailash to Mayapur, to that Dweep. I'm unable to recollect the name of that Dweep, to hear Gaur Katha or Gaur Bhagavatam. So we also should take advantage, because these are all places where we can perform Avyabhicharini Bhakti, completely detached from all things. And when we keep doing that repeatedly, then slowly we'll be able to get that higher taste. And then once we get the higher taste, all the lower things can be given up. So this is something that we can recollect from Prabhupada's lectures and use it for our personal advancement in Krishna consciousness. Please forgive me if I've spoken something beyond my realization. Whatever I'm speaking is something that I'm aspiring to practice, and with the blessings of all, I hope I will be able to make infant steps at least of progress in my Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. So thank you so much. So thank you for this wonderful class, Prabhu. So in fact, there were so many points that you were mentioning, and I think just trying to recall. The one that comes out very nicely is the transcendental competition that you were talking about, which is actually bringing out the cream or the essence, the nectar of the relationship that we are trying to forge between us and Krishna. So many points, Prabhu, and also about unconditional bhakti. So there's so many points that you touched upon. So thank you so much. Without taking much time, sir, just request devotees if they have any comments or questions, then please go ahead. So devotees can unmute and then they can express their opinion. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Go ahead, Mataji.
Go ahead, Mataji, please.
Prabhu, I couldn't hear that the best way for rapid progress, Prabhu. Prabhu, you're muted.
Yes, the best way for rapid progress in attraction is attraction to pleasing a pure devotee. Why? Because Krishna, although we hear so much, sometimes it's a far-fetched thing for us sometimes. Why? Because we haven't personally experienced face-to-face Krishna, but a pure devotee's dealings, how humble he is, how caring he is, how loving he is, how compassionate he is, how dedicated he is to Prabhupada's mission. So when we see such things, then it gives us such a rapid progress. So I remember one pastime also. Makanlal Prabhu was sharing this in our Jayapataka Maharaj's Vyas Puja. So whenever Jayapataka Maharaj visits from one place to another place, in between there will be some lag. If there's a waiting period, let's say some 4 or 5 hours of waiting or etc. As a conditioned soul, we will try to relax. We will try to be kind of taking easy steps. But Jayapataka Maharaj used to feel so much shelter. He used to feel so much shelter. We see in the Guru Puja, Shri Guru Charana Padma, Kevala Bhakati Sadma. That means devotee, for him, he sees that ISKCON is like the house of bhakti. So Makanlal Prabhu was sharing, even when there was some 3 hours or 4 hours of delay, instead of just sitting in the airport, Maharaj would try to go to the ISKCON temple so that he himself feels the shelter of Prabhupada, and he is able to serve Srila Prabhupada's mission by inspiring, motivating the devotees, etc. So at least remembering such elevated Vaishnavas, one can make tiny steps of advancement in his spiritual life, actually. So.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Prabhu, I would like to share one verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Yes.
Tells about the bhakti, the devotion to Krishna. That is in Madhya Leela 8.70. Krishna Bhakti Ratham Bhavitam Matihi.
Yes.
Tatra laulyam api maulyam ekalam janma koti sprute na labhyam. Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much for the wonderful lecture and
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for the wonderful class, Prabhu. You're always, your lectures are so simple to understand, clears many doubts. So, like Mataji asked, is it following Srila Prabhupada is enough, Prabhu? Like if we follow all his instructions, is it like pleasing a pure devotee, Prabhu?
Of course, we can do that, but in our heart also, Prabhupada always said that pleasing me means pleasing my devotees, or pleasing my disciples also, because for us a living guru is always more beneficial to. So the best way is we see how the disciples of Prabhupada, their heart is in serving Srila Prabhupada and seeing their connection to Prabhupada, and with that desire to serve them, that will one is, yes, we follow his instructions, but somewhere we should have at least one person whom we desire to please. So there in that lecture, Radhesham Prabhu was mentioning, if one somehow has a very great heart to please a Vaishnava, then makes rapid progress in advancement of Krishna consciousness.
So Prabhu, I've not yet taken Diksha. So like, should I think of one from now and then follow
Of
him?
course. So we can try to hear their lectures, and whoever is guiding you, Mataji, you can pick up if you're attracted, if you're not yet known about many, some 2-3 whomever are giving Diksha and easily available and accessible in our community. You can take lectures from, hear their lectures, and maybe meet some of the disciples of such sannyasi and hear from them about the glories of the sannyasi, and in that way get attraction. How did we get attraction to any material personality? Somebody told us this cricketer is like this football player is like that, then eventually we heard about him, then we watched him. Once we hear, we have a desire that I should go and take darshan, I should see him at least once. Then when we go, when we see personally how he's reciprocating, how he's interacting, that will motivate us more, and our heart will be touched.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Prabhu, one doubt I had, is the meaning of mukti same as Sayujya liberation? Prabhu?
Prabhupada says for a devotee, mukti means swarupena avastita. There, mukti also liberation, there are 5 kinds. One is Sayujya. Devotees, we never aspire for Sayujya. The other 4, Shashti and Samipya, Salokya, and this one, Swarupya. So these are the 4 things that we aspire for generally. And Prabhupada also says that mukti means swarupena avastita, being situated in our natural position, and natural position is jivera swarupoi krishnera nityadas. Therefore Rupa Goswami also has mentioned a shloka, for a devotee, even being in this world, he can become a jivan mukta, provided he's 24 hours just engaged in Krishna's service. Iha yasya harer dasya karmana manasa gira nikilaspi api avastato jivan muktya uchyate. So who is a jivan mukta? Iha yasya harer dasya. Always he's thinking, I want to be servant of Krishna, I want to serve Krishna, like that. And how? Not just thinking, karmana manasa gira. He's acting also in service, not just speaking, thinking. He's also acting physically when services are given. His mind also, he's always thinking, like that. Karmana manasa gira. For such a person, nikilasvi api avastato. Even though he's avastatu in this world, he's already jivan mukta sa uchyate, like that. So all the pure devotees who have dedicated their lives 24 hours only to serve the mission of Prabhupada and Krishna. So although they are living in this world, they have sometimes material, they have so-called material body which is dwindling, becoming old, is going and passing stool, urine. One should never consider that they are on the material platform. Prabhupada gives that example also, just like an iron rod kept in fire, it becomes same as fire. Although it is still iron rod, same way, although it is still a material body, the body becomes spiritualized and they are liberated personally.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you very much, Prabhu. I could feel the mercy of the Lord flowing in your lecture, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dhanar Pranams. Thank you for the wonderful class and making it very simple with a lot of examples. I think one of the important things which you actually covered also was, how actually Prabhupada's disciples, they led by example to, by serving their spiritual master, they could just advance sporadically, it was pretty fast and swift. That's something which he touched me in terms of, yes, we can do the same to our spiritual master as well.
Yes.
And not only that, it's one other thing I want to ask Prabhu, it's not, and we can always do that same thing to not necessarily, we should not be waiting to say who the pure devotee, rather we can do that to all devotees. And that will make us even more, it'll be easier than become judgmental, our material contamination sometimes make it easier, pure devotee. We'll focus more on that. Rather, we can do it for everybody. That makes it even simple. That's what I thought.
Correct. Yes. Shall we end, Prabhuji, this one?
Yes, Prabhu. So if there aren't any more questions or any comments, then we can end. But before concluding, I just wanted to add, Prabhu, actually the concept that you brought out with respect to connecting, remembering a pure devotee. So you brought out that point so well, how one should serve the pure devotee. And serving the pure devotee, how to serve the pure devotee or how to remember the pure devotee, you actually showed it because we were talking about His Holiness Jayapatak Swami Maharaj, and then, the emotional connect that we could all, it came across so well. So, it's a very private moment for you, but then it was so nice. So thank you. It's a great learning for us. So thank you so much, Prabhu. So on this note, we can end the session for today. Paying obeisances to all the Vaishnavas. Vancha kalpatrubhyasya kripa sindhubhyacha patitanam pavanebhyo Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gurudev ki jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. The God's Anapramanande Hari Hari. So thank you once again, Prabhu. So I'll end the session now. So Hare Krishna to everyone. Have a great day.